Club semi-finals, they're on this weekend. Kilmacud will meet Cairns O'Rahilly, that's Croke Park, 1:30 on Sunday. And Moycullen will meet Glen, that's the game afterwards, that's at 3:30 p.m. So for Kilmacud, I think most people will be expecting this to go the way of Kilmacud. Obviously got to the All-Ireland final last year, had it all but won going into the final seconds when Kilcoo took it out from under their noses. Haven't won it since 2009. I did an interview with Andrew McGowan, which is up on the channel as well. He's wing back for Crokes, and he was very good talking all about their season and coming back from where they were. But I mean, Paul Mannion, he's been back in doing a bit of light training. Not sure he's going to be ready for this one. A lot will fall on Shane Walsh as well, but they have a host of other good forwards, the likes of Shane Cunningham, Tom Fox, who I don't think has been starting the last couple of games, Hugh Kenny, and so on and so forth. There's and Dara Mullen as well. A lot of really good players there. Hard to make a case really for Cairns O'Rahilly winning this game, even if they do have some quality.
I think it is realistically. Just on Mannion, just from what I was reading the other day, it seems to be like he'd love to get back to play with Kilmacud, but I don't think they're going to be rushing him. And the main priority, I think, is fitness for Dublin at this stage. It's one thing to say he's back jogging, but I don't think he's done any of the training with the squad. And I don't know if that'll be much different in a couple of weeks' time. Obviously came back from a serious enough injury. He's been out. What's he been out? The guts of about 3 months at this stage?
Probably, yeah.
You know, so I don't know. Listen, he'd be a great lad to have back, even off the bench, if they did have him for an All-Ireland club final. And realistically, Shane, this is a fairly a landslide victory for Crokes, really. Landslide for them. Landslide for them could be 8 or 9 points, but just to have them really at arm's length the whole way through. What did Cairns O'Rahilly score in the Munster final? Was it like 2-5 or was it 2-5 to 1-7 or something like that in the Munster final? Like they're not going to see the colour of the goal chances that they did against Newcastle West. I don't expect Jack Savage to be given the freedom he was at different times in that Munster final. He won't be able to dictate affairs. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Rory O'Carroll dropped back on Tommy Walsh if they were going to go with that aerial bombardment like they did in the Munster final, which got them an awful lot of joy. And you know what's going to be fascinating? Craig Diaz and David Moran in the middle of the field.
I was thinking that, yeah.
Moran really dominated the second half against Newcastle West. He just seemed to be everywhere. He was under a bit of pressure in the first half. They were marking him quite tightly and really getting in his face. But it was like the big man in the middle of the field dominated, the big man in the edge of the square dominated. But like Diaz, the best club player in the country at the moment, is he or is he not? And if they do get to the final and it's the Glen in the final, you have another dream match of him and Conor Glass potentially in the final as well, which would be brilliant. But and I just think, I think Kilmacud are going to be so hard beaten in this. Really do. I think they're a couple of levels above Cairns O'Rahilly's, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it was 2-6 to 1-8 in that Munster final. I agree with you. I do think that they'll. Yeah, but like I do look at some of the Cairns O'Rahilly players and think, Cormac Coffey, I think he's been in and around the Kerry panels in recent times. Obviously David Moran, who you've mentioned, Jack Savage, Gavin O'Brien's been in there, Barry John Keane, obviously Tommy Walsh. The last kick he had in anger in competitive action at Croke Park was that late shot looking for an equaliser against Tyrone in the All-Ireland semi-final in 2021. He'll obviously looking to be making an impact. But I suppose the thing is normally teams don't get a chance to isolate a full-back against Kilmacud Crokes. They're so good at managing games and sort of boxing teams in. Like I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with the Cairns O'Rahilly kick out here and how Crokes will manage to box them in, because they're so good at that. And then obviously Shane Walsh is such a game changer at the other end. I think Moycullen against Glen is a very tasty game. Like Glen obviously did so brilliantly to beat Kilcoo and dethrone them as All-Ireland champions in the Ulster final. But Moycullen are obviously a very good side. They've won 2 of the last 3 county titles in Galway. And this is going to be a physical game. And some of the players will know each other from the Galway-Derry All-Ireland semi-final also.
Yeah, this is a fascinating game. And it's probably the game of the weekend. The pre-season games are grand, but whether to be skin and hair flying is another thing. This game is like you would probably fancy Glen to come through in the heat of the hunt, as you'd say yourself. But Moycullen have had a couple of blips, right? The couple of blips was a Strokestown ran them really, really close. Then I thought they were clinical enough against Tour Strand and
Westport.
Westport. Yeah, I think it was Westport and Strokestown, but they got that kind of blip out of the way and were able to get through it. And I think they'll fancy themselves going into this weekend. As I said, Peter Cook has been based in Galway a bit longer. Dessie Keneally was brilliant throughout the whole Connacht campaign, obviously the Galway campaign as well. They've a good handful of Galway panelists or former Galway panelists. It's about 5 or 6 all told. This is the game of the weekend, but you'd have to say, when you look at the level that Glen got to against Kilcoo, like that, particularly that second half of that game was like, we've talked about Ballygunner and the Pearse Street taking club hurling to another level. Like, that was another level of club football that we haven't probably seen in a while, I would say. And they were able to break down Kilcoo and break them down emphatically enough in the second half. Never trailed in that game, actually. We're ahead from start to finish, got that brilliant goal at the end as well. I think like Glen have not been unbelievable from start to finish in games. Ergil Kieran led them, remember. They struggled against Carrigan at stages as well. But I fancy them just to find a way, especially having the Kilcoo monkey off the back and having the Ulster monkey off the back as well.
Yeah, and I think the likes of Conall McGuckie and Danny Tallon, obviously Emmett Bradley as well, they've got a lot of players there, and Michael Warnock, who I interviewed during the week as well, lads who know how to get stuck in these big championship games. They've had a nice bit of time since the 11th of December to sort of celebrate a first ever Ulster title and go again. Richard Hogan says, should both senior club football semi-finals have been played before Christmas and run in line with senior hurling, given that both finals are on the same day? You could make a case for it. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't argue the toss too much on that one. Never. I haven't read that comment yet. Mike Cullen's best games have been against the better teams. Hammered Mount Benue and Westport. Struggled against poor teams. Then fancy Mike Cullen to keep Connacht's great record against Ulster going. I'm kind of leaning towards Mike Cullen myself, actually.
Really, the big man who had Glen tipped to win the All Ireland last year, number 1 in the power rankings.
Yeah, the same lad.
Stapleton abandons Glen. This will just feed into the narrative that they have about people questioning their character and their manhood,
and write them off.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but like you said, they have the likes of Dessie Keneally, Owen Gallagher, obviously the Antrim man is involved there. David Wynne apparently really drives standards there also. And mentioned Peter Cook, one of the nicest kickers of a football going. Then you've got Sean Kelly as well. So there's an awful lot of quality in that team, and I think plenty of them are built for Croke Park also. Now, at the same time, I'd say it's going to be a kick of a ball between the teams at the end of it.
Imagine there was another Melee style. Obviously, it's Galway versus Derry. Sean Kelly was in the middle. Was he sent off after that Melee? Wrongly? Wasn't he sent off? I'm just thinking as well, he's had some year. He's the only one that was able to get the better of David Clifford as well this year when they won the Sigerson as well. He's had an unbelievable year. Season, I should say, that's still rolling along.
Yeah, I interviewed him as well, which you can also get on the channel there, origame.ie, and I was asking him about who's the toughest player to mark that he's marked, and he's marked some of the big ones. So go and check that out if you want to find out.
You're the man for the clickbait. I'm mad to find out now.
Yeah, well, do you know what? No, I don't give it out for nothing. Hey, you won't go and buy the milk if I give it. Wait, no. You won't buy the cow if I give you the milk for free. We'll put it that way. The All-Ireland Intermediate Football semi-finals, Dunmore McHale's of Galway will meet Galbraith Pierces of Tyrone. St. Mogue's Feathered, as you'd say, are against Rathmore of Kerry. Junior semi-finals will see Clifton of Galway against Stewartstown Harps of Tyrone and Castletown of Meath meet Vasa of Kerry. I'd say there'd be a fair turnout in Portlaoise for that.
Well, I was thinking about going down to it. There's so many games on. I don't know why they put every game on at the same time, particularly when some grounds have floodlit pitches. There's so many games. I'd go to 2 games if I could, if they're at different times. Everything nearly seems to be on the same time on Saturday, but I'd nearly be tempted down to Portlaoise. It's probably that or Micheál Donoghue's debut in Dublin, and I'm down in Callan for Kilkenny and Offaly on Sunday. But I'd say, yeah, Asher, listen, it's amazing. It's not his own entourage, but the entourage that Clifford brings with him everywhere around the country. It's phenomenal. I haven't seen anything like it. I haven't really seen anything like it before across any GA code.
Yeah, he's like Jay-Z going around with the entourage or something like that, maybe. I was thinking Tupac. That's what I was actually thinking.